Hi.
Why is this thing broken?
Why is what broken?
Walk away from it and go back.
The
If
cauldrons.
If it's not broken, you have to re-log to fix it.
Just like a long ass like sheet with nothing on it.
Yeah, that's a feature.
The ink fell off. It won't let me take more than 15? Oh, never mind. I figured it out.
Try again.
No. I had potions from the stupid alchemy passive.
Can you drop lockstones, please?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome, bud. Same as last time, that is at Star, where Rune is standing right now. And then Mac is behind you, Birdie, so you're over there at the ping.
And we need a spot for our hunter.
Back there. He's there.
Oh.
Alright, everyone's on the ready. We're going.
I'm still melee triangle, yeah?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm mentally very not ready.
Real
Snow.
trim.
Good morning, Snow.
I believe in you, you know that? Go to the tip of the parabola. Going to our marks with these charges. I'll get you up. Go to our marks.
Us, please, when you have a global.
Get orbs out. Dodge daggers now. Dodge orbs.
It's gonna be in a real bad spot.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, not so good. The mulligans. Going directly through the boss with these. Still go. Get them out.
Save us,
Dodge
Hobart.
daggers. Orbs out.
Fine.
Big hit coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, now. Resetters.
Thank God. I was in my Oven Excellence because I assumed we were going there first.
Dude, what is this Coltarian form? Why am I doing this to myself? Was that good for positions for everyone on the intermission? Yeah.
I guess.
Alright, cool. Left.
That's what I thought. Okay, Birdie, you went the wrong way, I think. So you go left if you get one of the first ones.
Ugh.
Oh, really?
Jesus Christ. What am I running
We're
alongside
going
transmitter?
left after we get hit by
Mandates.
this, guys. Going to our marks. Get orbs out. Keep going. Dodge daggers. This is just resetty spaghetti. After this.
Yeah, how was I supposed to go to orange if that's where someone tanks were?
I mean, that happens. That actually happens every single pull. You just have to game it. You have to stand there as best as you can. You can't try and not be away from the boss.
But yeah, I got a mythic Queen's Mandate off of the first kill. I run that now in single target. Thanks for the follow, much appreciated. How you doing today?
Good transmog pebbles.
Why the fuck does general chat exist in raid?
Snow, whenever
Mine's
you're ready.
silent. What's going on in yours?
I'm not repeating it.
Oh.
Mine's just talking about Pokemon.
I'm doing alright.
Someone's gooning to Queen and Sarussi.
I'm gonna mute you. Sorry.
A slow day.
The proboscis on that one.
I wonder if she has an ovipositor.
Going left.
I hardly know her.
Hopefully it's just a quick clear and then I don't know what I'm doing. But it's just this and Ovenex,
We're going
so
to our marks after this.
should be quick. We already cleared the rest of it on Tuesday.
I don't think I went.
Dodging daggers.
Maybe I did.
Dodge. Dodging orbs.
That's sketch.
Directly through the boss with these. Orbs out. Dodge daggers. Dodging orbs. You can get snow up. Getting you up right now.
What?
Buff them up, please. Get to our spots.
I have no idea what my stats are. I'm gonna be honest, I just sim, but you feel like you can get something out of them, sure.
Big hit coming in 4, 3, 2, now. Doing okay. You can honk, honestly. Buff them up, please.
Marks out.
Can I stop being picked, bro? Going left. Going to our marks after this. him out. Dodge daggers. Orbs going off. Dodge orbs now. Directly through the boss with these. Dodge daggers now. Dodging orbs. Ooh, we're losing people. Keep going. We can still kill this. Use everything to live this intermission. It should be okay.
I mean, crafted gear you can just also sim. Haste is a good stat, though. Not like haste is bad.
Use everything. Do not save a thing. Big hit coming in 3, 2, 1. We can still do this. We have a B-res coming up.
You want up?
Let's get up Mike. Buff him up, please. You can go left with these orbs.
Only, like, the only situation where haste is kind of bad is in
marks
big
after
AoE.
this?
Like, sometimes, well, most of the times in M+. What the...
Danger.
Big danger, live it.
Sedella, save me.
Dodging orbs. Kill boss. Oh my god.
No, the grip.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We got this. Just get the daggers through the boss best we can. Keep going. 0.3.
Absolute terrorism.
I believe.
Yeah.
No, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do
3
it.
mil.
Keep going. Okay. We'll take it.
Clean. Perfect.
What happened? I saw someone not have a.
Whoever, someone had like one over here and just went over here with it.
Yeah, they went
Instead of
3
going to
instead of
here.
2.
It's a lot of terrorism. Severe melee terrorism at multiple points in the fight.
Anyways, stats.
I just want a warbound Void Ripper, so I can have the transport.
Yeah, I have more haste than crit
Is
right
that
now.
so much to ask?
Yeah. Is that the fist weapon?
Well, no, I know, but like for alts and
No,
stuff.
I asked. Is that the fist weapon?
Oh, I thought you said that. Like, sorry.
No.
Yes, it's a fist weapon.
I just didn't know the name of the fist weapon.
I mean, the only thing that's like
I just call it fist weapon.
kind of bad is verse, right? Verse is like the only bad stat. Everything else is kind of whatever. Assassination doesn't really have bad stats aside from verse. So whatever the sim says is good. That's why we sim.
No one here really. Okay, cool. Well,
Trying to figure out why we haven't gotten any updates yet for us to test. We got most of our updates in 0.5.
You basically being like, why are there no
Oh.
hunters rolling on it?
Well,
I don't
was
think
gonna
we're getting
see, like,
anything
who
this
plays a
cycle.
Hunter outside of raid the most, but I don't really.
A Newton.
Aside from the tier and some tuning, it's just gonna basically be the
You said
same.
you play one every Tuesday.
Yeah, to do my weekly profession stuff.
Logan, do you play a Hunter?
Yeah, I've been playing my hunter bit.
Okay, then he gets it. That's more than just profession stuff.
Yeah, I
If,
log
I
on
mean,
and
if you want to
do
raid an
I
M+,
log off and I don't touch her until next Tuesday.
ideally you would have
Here, do that. Hold on, wait,
two
wait,
sets
let me
of
trade
gear,
now, so I can leave.
probably.
Okay.
But
Yes.
for
Oh,
Mythic
you
Plus, a lot of
DJ.
people prefer having no haste
Hey, Necromi
because it's
is
bad in
putting
AoE. But it's just AoE, right? Single target, the haste is still good.
If
Where
it
the
wasn't
fuck
for
is this thing
Necromi,
going?
we would not be having Overnax kills.
Please help, I have threat.
I'm sure that is the make or break. All hail Necromni.
Yeah, I'll sit out. I want to parse.
Nobody taunted.
Get on.
Threaded the needle too.
I'm
went
so
right
busy
past
just getting
all the
thrown into
walls.
the wall.
It went past all the walls, right
Yeah.
past pillars. Like,
Hope they fixed the tier. They already did.
Yep, fuck.
All it needs is tuning now, which,
really,
you know,
really
whatever.
true.
Your opinion on dropping Master Assassin for Twist the Knife? I mean, I think that it's kind of whatever.
Wait, that was all you were gonna say, Snow? I don't get it.
Like, they're both
For you?
more single target based.
Yeah,
Both the talents are
stop
single
it.
target, but
it makes sense.
Why does
I
it
don't know.
make sense?
Twist the Knife is a little bit more single target, I guess.
It makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
but why?
Two
Oh.
tiers though, not next tier.
Less AoE, a
Why
little
in
more
two
single
tiers?
target. People just do it for boss damage, basically.
Gotta
The
think
countdown.
ahead.
What's in 2 tiers?
Usually water
D
and
Slice,
some,
it's
some salt.
10
Snow
to
is gonna play
15%
Destro
DPS loss?
Don't do it. Snow.
That's not right.
Can I have a summon? I
That can't
realize
be.
there's bugs outside
The
door.
talent itself is like 3.5%? Not even like if you untalent Master Assassin and don't take anything else, it's like a 3 to 4% loss. So you probably did something wrong when you simmed it.
Dune, can I say no matter what your note says? Just
No,
go to
it's
the
not
star
based
marker?
off rupture ticks. The
Or
tier
not
set
your
is
note,
based off
whatever
the
your character
casts.
says, just go to the star marker. Can you do that?
Casts of finishers.
Also, Rune, can you be the first interrupt on Diamond?
Yep, I already got it. The focus macro.
You're amazing. Cool.
I mean, there is a bug where, like with Crimson Tempest, it checks the 15% chance per target
if you have
hit.
Northern Sky and it's like what the same version we're using, I believe we are all the way updated, then you should be good. But regardless, you're always going to the
So it like Crimson Tempest is going to lose you the stacks more often than not. But I think
May I
they
have
also
the same?
fixed that, but I'm checking it real quick. It should be quite easy to check. So
I also need to summon. I tried to say same in raid, and I said it in general chat, and now someone's gonna talk to me.
You're also agreeing to the answer, Russell.
No, Illidan general chat's a little. It's so hit and miss. Sometimes it's just nothing, and other times it's really, really terrifying.
Mal'Ganis is either talking about Pokimane or they're talking about Yaoi.
One of those subjects is really good.
Yeah,
all right, maybe they haven't fixed it yet.
I eat Snickers upside down.
Do I play Outlaw? No.
Better?
It's inconclusive. They might have fixed it, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would need to hit the dummy for longer.
Yeah, you can't make eye contact with the vein.
Is the new set piece bonus just a few bug fixes away from
Snow,
being
you're
good? No.
10%,
no.
my guy. Can we?
I mean,
have a
they
repair?
fixed
And
basically
can
all
we
the
have
bugs,
all the buffs in the world,
but
please?
it's just bad. Like the numbers are just bad.
Also, who's doing the stun rotation, by the way?
What am
Are
I
you just
using
going first
instead
both
of?
times, Rune?
Am I just
Is that
gonna
what's
be
good?
funny? Am I being funny about it? Do I just take the lantern?
Yeah.
That'd be
Just
pretty
kinda
funny.
Been winging it.
Yeah, do it. And then
Fuck
second
it.
can be Birdie. But I
Fuck
think
it,
we should be done
lantern.
by then, so whenever Mike's ready, we can go.
Feels funny to me.
We go.
But yeah, I mean, tier set is just bad
let me know.
numerically. it's already bug fixed for basically every situation. Crimson Tempest is like a little bit weird.
I'm sorry, Snow.
But the main issue is just numerically the 4-piece just makes no sense. Like numerically the 4-piece is probably less than 1%. Like I did napkin math and it's like 0.3% of a bonus. Just because it's so bad. Has no uptime, the duration itself is really short, the bonus isn't even that good. It's just very strange.
I'll res you after this.
For the egg trinket, do you use it? I mean, if I need to lock the stacks, yeah. You don't have to use it. It doesn't do anything, it just locks the stats. So, you know, if you have a good stack count that you want to keep,
We missed a set eggs.
What egg? Where?
then you can just
Oh, we did, didn't we? Okay, jump off. Never mind.
vibe with it. Would you have something that you would replace the bonus with?
Mac, did you mark star for interrupt?
Like, okay, if you say
Yeah,
replace.
no, you
By the way,
didn't,
thank you
you
for the
didn't
prime.
assist, I'm sorry.
I forgot. I was just in thought. But thank you so much for the
I'm a
prime.
liar.
When you say replace,
I was
do you mean
wondering why my
like
triangle wasn't screaming at me that it was time for me to kick it?
like to rework the
they
entire
definitely have
bonus,
assists,
or
yeah.
like tuning wise, replace the bonus?
Definitely focus it.
Because there's plenty of things that I can replace the bonus with if I could like rework the whole thing. Like if I could rework the whole thing, the 2-piece. I mean, obviously the 2-piece I can't rework because that's the whole point. Like it's supposed to be, winning streak, so I can't replace winning streak. But the 4-piece,
food on this character.
like if we want to
Dragonfly
maintain the
food.
lose a streak thing,
Hell yeah, let's get it.
I would prefer if when it lost the streak, it like gave you back the
No,
combo
I mean,
points
for the buff.
that you lost.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I only eat in raid or when Mike drops.
Alternatively, I'd like also prefer it if it was just like it triggered on Shiv. So like the way the sub rogue one works is you don't lose winning streak during your shadow dance. I'd much prefer it that way. Like you don't lose winning streak during Shiv, or Shiv grants you 2 winning streaks or something. Something that played around our cooldowns more, because for better or for worse, assassination at this point is just a cooldown spec. So it feels a little strange that we just have a 4-piece that's a random chance to proc, and then a random chance on top of the random chance to proc. Something that would be more around our cooldowns would be nice. Even if it's not really rotational either.
Triangles over ping. Missed it again.
Yippee! Tuning wise, I think they need to fix every number.
I literally saw every other mark for triangle.
Like every single number. Like if I do this, like right now, you have a chance that's like 20% to gain for 4 seconds, and they have 30% additional effect. I was talking about this on Tuesday after raid, but essentially they can't fix the tier by buffing one of these numbers. They need to buff all the numbers. Like it's 20% for 4 seconds and a 30% additional effects, right? If you just do
my dragonflight food.
If you just do the proc chance,
I can't see the trade.
the set bonus maintains the 2-piece, right? Like the 2-piece bonus.
1 second.
So if you have like 100% chance to proc the 4-piece, then you would just never lose your winning streak. So you can't do that, right? That's a very finicky number to change. So you can't just buff that outright. 4 seconds is already short, so like you would need to buff that as well. Because 4 seconds is not a lot of time to do something with. But you can't buff that on its own either, because then you just have like a 15-second window. Because right now it procs once every 2 minutes. So even if you had, like, you know, a 15-second window, the uptime is still really bad. And then you have huge DPS swings based on, like, if it procs in a row or if it doesn't. It's just very strange, right? So you can't buff that outright as well. Then there's the additional effect. Now that could be buffed, but it's the same kind of issue where if you just buff the additional effect, it's really strange. Because it still only procs once every 2 minutes. So you just have this, like, giga window that you get once every 2 minutes, which is just, like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, that's not how the game works, kind of. So I think realistically, what needs to happen is they need to buff all the numbers. Like, every single number needs to be buffed. There's no way around it.
Someone get triangle interrupt here. It's dead. Never mind. Sticky web's coming out soon. Swirls and sticky web in 5 seconds.
But given that it's, like, you know, 0.3% value, you know, I don't think it's much of a challenge to buff all the numbers. Like, if they made it like a 40% chance for 8 seconds and make it, like, you know, 50% increased effect,
oh, what?
they'd be cooking. We'd be cooking pretty hard.
I don't know what that was.
It was a fat finger on a keybind.
Okay.
Where do you think will be placed for single target raid and an M+?
Swirls followed by egg breaks.
I don't have a crystal ball.
Marks are out. Look for him. Sticky webs now.
Realistically, we're still, like, I don't know, like 5 tuning passes away.
I'll get you up in a second.
Like, they will tune a bunch of times, and whatever ends up happening, ends up happening. But it's like, I am not clairvoyant.
Oh.
That's something that no one can predict.
We have a couple.
Try to bring in a melee. If you can.
Yeah, try and yeah. Marks are down again. Please look for him. Use a personal after the egg breaks.
Oh!
Oh. I was trying to tell the spider.
New marks are up. Look for him. Comes our marks.
R.
New marks are out. Swirl's coming. Egg breaks coming up now. After egg breaks, sticky webs. Get sticky webs out, please. Stars right under the boss. Stars right under the boss. Right under the boss. We don't have to move the ad or the boss back. We're okay. No way. No.
Yes. What?
You're alive for this, Che. 100% you're alive for this.
No.
You're alive.
No.
Oh, he's moving so slow. What is this?
He's
It's a
crippled.
slug.
Oh,
Hey, Ren.
I got a warbound Avi staff.
638.9? Hell
Obviously,
yeah.
What?
Staff.
Oh, okay.
Big sniffing.
Stave, if you prefer.
How?
Hey.
Oh, never mind. Warbound doesn't matter.
Yo.
Nice. Good job,
It's
guys.
the blue and gold version. It's the best color.
High. Yeah, okay. I was just gonna go to high. Hold on. Trade me high wherever you're at. Thank you again, Shadow. We appreciate it. Mic offhand. Power and then tree. Yeah, sounds like it.
Bomb. Here. Quick and easy cleanup.
Nice log name chain.
M.
Very creative this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Why say menu over when I work?
Why press many key when one key do trick?
Alright. So I gotta double check if here works.
See, Snow, I told you. You can go back to bed.
Bedge. But now bed is cold because he's got out.
Need one of those electric bed warmers.
I just have a cat.
I have one.
I just put my cat under the blankets. She lays there and warms it up for me.
I have to stay up now. My day has started.
I have
I
a
have
queen
one more
size
day of
bed.
work.
Do you work today?
Yep, in 4
Thank you.
hours.
Have a wonderful night, gamers.
I
Good
go.
night, day.
The potential of S and O now being strong is how important do you think meta is on attempting to push higher
Mike, we
keys?
can go into the rookery right here.
Yeah.
So I think the bigger problem with the meta
Oh.
isn't that the
Yeah.
meta is important. I
convenient.
think that
It's like they knew.
I think the main problem is that people won't invite you. Like if you have a set group, I think you're gonna be fine. Like unless you're pushing like the super highest of keys, you'll be fine. If you're pugging, it's doomed. Like you're fucked. Because pug groups are fucking ruthless. Like those guys are maniacs. They will eat you alive. They see a rogue, they don't even consider inviting you. So if you're pugging, meta's important just because people are assholes. But if you have a set group, it's probably not an issue. Alright, now we need to do the dumb thing. Oh god. I barely get invited to 12s now? Yeah, so if you're barely getting invited to 12s now, you're already fucked. GG. Alright, so I gotta like... Alright, here we go. 0, 0. So we'll do nose for the first number, and then... I don't know. No, so 1, 0. 1, 1. 2, 1. 3, 1. 3, 2. 3, 3. Okay, looks like they haven't fixed it so far. This seems sketch. 3, 3. Okay. Give me a sec. 3, 4. A stack. 4, 4. 5. Or 6. Or 7. Yeah, okay, it's not fixed. Yeah, 3K is all 12s. But like, if you're not getting invited now, now is a good Assassination Rogue season. So if you're not getting invited now, it's either your character sucks, or your IO sucks, or pugs are assholes. And that's not going to get, like, none of those things are magically going to improve, right? Anyways, that is fun. I mean, it's mainly, they just look at item level. Right, that's the thing that shows up in pugs when you sign up to groups, is bag item level. So if you're, I'd say if you're like anything less than, like at this point in the season, if you're anything less than like probably 638, 637, I don't think anyone's taking anyone under 637. Like if you're 636, it's probably fair. Like it's just, like, you're just gonna get outbid by other players. Because it's legitimately like the last weeks of a tier. So if you're not max item level, it's probably screwed. Such is the pug life, you know? Pugs see two things. They see item level and they see IO score. So if you're trying to pug and one or both of those numbers isn't higher than anyone else that's pugging, it's a disaster. And there's literally dozens of DPS players all applying to the same key. So like, yeah, you might be 2800, but if there's a 3K player signing up to the same key, you're screwed. 635? Yeah, 635 is a bit low. Esho, thanks for the follow, much appreciated. But yeah, 635 is pretty low compared to what's going to sign up to 12s. Like, if you're signing up for 12s, people are going to be signing up that are 3-4 item levels higher than you. And that's just how it is. Like, if I sign up to a group, it's going to say 639. Might even round up and say 640, I'm not sure. But, like, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. I could probably hit 640 if I had another dagger, maybe. Get the extra 3 item level from the crafted gear, but I don't think I have any. Yeah, it's hero track. Unlucky. Yeah, sub is pretty good. Sub is indeed pretty good. Their tier set is really strong, but obviously bugs as well. Yeah, think life gets easier when you have friends. That is real. Like if you don't have a tank, if you don't have a healer, if you don't have a guild to do keys with, I mean you're screwed. Hugging is actually the most miserable experience that I've ever had. I played League of Legends for 7 years, and pugging M+ in World of Warcraft is far worse. Like pugging M+ is like top 3 worst gaming experiences I've ever had in my life. It is really bad. It is an abysmally bad experience. I was crashing in MapleStory earlier. I want to see if it's still crashing. Might have just been the servers being unstable, I'm not sure. I mean, it's not even about how long it takes, it's just that the community sucks. Like, I'm gonna be so real. M+ community, after a certain point, is just absolutely terrible. Like, you either play the 3 specs that they deem as meta, or you're fucked. And it's always been like that. It's gotten worse with, like, AUG. Like, AUG has definitely made the situation worse. But realistically, it's always been like that. Like, they have their moments where it's like, you're not playing this, you're not getting invited. So, yeah, I mean, vault keys is whatever. When I, like, the M+ community, when I say that, I mean, like, the M+ community past vault keys. Because vault keys are being run constantly by a bunch of people. Once you get into just the keys that people run for score, anyways, I don't think I'm crashing, so just in the name of having something on the screen, smile. Boop. I know that there's like an M+ Discord that you can join that like matches people up. I can't say I've ever used it. I've only seen it linked a bunch of times. So I wouldn't know anything about that, but you can try that. I think it's like M+ friends or something. I think I even might be in the server. Just in the case that I would have to link it to people. Let me check. Yeah. Here, let me. Can I? Yeah, that works. That's the one that I know of. But again, I've never used it. I have no idea what it's like, what it does, etc. I've just seen it. And I fucked up. God damn it. I need to go. Put points in. Did it crash? Wow, incredible. That's a good sign. Thanks for the follow, much appreciated. WME? The hell is WME? Is that also a Discord or something? Oh, WoW made it easy. I've never heard of those guys in my life. Yeah, I don't know a lot of like community discords. Because I'm gonna be honest, most of the time they're shit, and then they fall apart, and I cannot be fucked trying to remember all of them. Every time they die, and then get resurrected, and then die again. So, I just don't bother. I think WME had a big controversy semi recently. Wow. The jokes write themselves. Who would have known? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Community discords in every game are just, they get really weird. I've noticed it in like Path of Exile, noticed it in Diablo, noticed it in League of Legends. Like every community discord is just strange. Class discords across like multiple MMOs, they've been okay. Like Final Fantasy class discords, they're okay. WoW class discords are okay. MapleStory class discords are okay. It's just like the community ones that are just like, meet friends here. Like those are full of weirdos. That is just like the worst. Or like Reddit pages. Discords for Reddit pages? Those are strange. Now you have a Discord for like the official r/WoW Discord, and it's like, what the like? It's like going into a zoo, you know? They tried to milk Patreon after whatever the documentary came out. What? People are making documentaries? What are we making documentaries about? Forget it. I don't care. Don't answer that. I don't care. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Like I give a shit. Out here making fucking documentaries, dude. What? Alright. All the buffs. Here, big cooldowns. It didn't kill. Oh god. Light cringe. It's a good thing that I made sure all my characters overgear the shit out of this fight. Smile. Or whatever. Oh my god, I crashed again. What? Stop. When's the next installment of this week's Whispers rant? Well, here's the thing. I don't really have anything to rant about, content-wise. Of course, I lost everything. Whatever. Like, until they tune stuff, it's kind of whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I can sit there, make a YouTube video, be like, wow, we suck. Feel bad for us. We're so bad. Our tier set's so bad. Everything's bad. The bosses are all copy-paste mechanics. Assassination rogue in the gutter. Oh, woe is me. I could do that. I could pull out a 12-minute video of me just bitching about things not happening on PTR. Like, I could, but why? Why would I? Who does that help? It doesn't help anyone for me to, you know, hit record and just bitch. I think it's necessary sometimes. But, like, I don't know. They know it's bad. Everyone else knows it's bad. It's like the fact that it's a melee DPS, right, and not just like assassination rogue DPS. Like winning streak as a concept doesn't work for many classes. I don't need to insert myself into that conversation. Like I don't. Gonna crash me? Okay. It's what Demon Hunter. Yeah, I mean, that's what. If I were in it for the money or whatever, that's what I would do. Like I could content farm off of dooming endlessly. Like there is an endless content farm of just dooming. I totally could. But I don't know, maybe it's like too righteous of me to say, but I feel like to some extent the community relies on me to not be that. You know, like, I'm a guide writer, I'm a theory crafter, but at the end of the day, I'm also just like, I wouldn't even call myself like a journalist, but like it's my job to teach people about the spec. And I feel like I lose validity in that if I just like complain every time I open my mouth. Like, to some extent, complaining does help because it gets the message out and other people can complain, and that's like how problems get fixed. You know, it's the same thing with like social activism. Like, if no one complains, then it never changes. Like, to some extent, I get it. But if I just like content farm for dooming, you know, like every week I make a video and it's like, hey, no updates, but the tier set still sucks. Here's why it sucks. I feel like at some like it's just not helpful anymore, right? Like, everyone knows it sucks. Everyone knows winning streak is bad. I don't have to rehash it over and over and over. And like, I don't know. I don't upload that much, but when I do upload, I try to make sure that I don't fill people's, you know, subscriber inboxes or whatever with just plain dooming. I try to be a little bit more targeted about it. For better or for worse. You know, some people just be like, oh, Whisper isn't making content, whatever. Some people, you know, will read into it on their own, but really it's just like, unless I feel the need to talk about something or there's something educational for me to say, I don't feel the need to make a video. And if I don't need to, if I don't feel that need, I just won't do it. Like, I'm not gonna just turn on my camera and yap for absolutely no reason and then upload it. Like, if I want to turn on my camera and yap, I do this, you know? I'm not even playing World of Warcraft anymore, but I'm still yapping. Like, I would much prefer to just yap on stream than record a video and then, like, upload it to YouTube. But, I don't know. I do think it's strange that, like, PTR in general doesn't really have that much in the way of, like, hard set changes anymore. Like, sometimes entire specs get reworked. And, like, we're currently in a cycle where Rogue doesn't get shit, right? At least for the major patch. And, like, it'd be like that. I like, it just is how it is. But it's weird. And I think part of it is just that, you know, as per usual, Blizzard is rushed again. Like, they keep pushing out patches faster and faster and faster. And at some point, they just run out of time, you know? And this has been a problem for a while now. Like, even in Dragonflight, or, like, even in Shadowlands, like, going back, like, a couple years, they were like, we are so deathly afraid of releasing a patch late, or, like, being slow on a patch release, that we would prefer to just release half a patch, basically. And that's when you get things like Siren Isle and Rogue not getting changes and, you know, buggy ass rings and all that shit. Like, you can tell there's like thought being put into changes. Like, I'm not denying that they're thinking about it and they're changing things and they're tuning. It's obvious to me that like there's people that are well intended, you know, and the devs working on stuff like they care, obviously. But it's like every single patch it becomes more and more clear that like them caring is only taking them so far, and at some point you just have to recognize that they don't have the time, which sucks. But like, what are you gonna do? You know. Hey, Sally. I'm doing okay. We cleaned up raid quick, so now I'm just sitting here yapping. We did most of it on Tuesday, and then we just cleaned up Kaiveza and Avenax today. It was over in like 30 minutes. It was super quick. And I don't bowl until 9, so I have like another 2 hours or so until I need to go bowling. So, you know, might as well just sit around yap. How are you, Sally? And more importantly, how is Nova? You sleepy? Yeah, it sounds like a cat, doesn't it? Double the walkable space. That's a crazy thing to say. I wouldn't say I'm pro. There's like, I am pro the same way that like college football is pro. You know, like if being a college football player is pro, then I'm a pro. Yes. I have no intentions of actually going professional or going on tour or whatever. I am not anywhere near good enough for that. But I've bowled not only one 300, I've bowled two 300s actually. And I have a high series of 773. I'm still waiting to, you know, get to 800, but maybe one day. That's a series is 3 games. The elusive 800 series is a rough one, but maybe one day. I haven't been bowling too good in league lately. I started the season and I had like a I started with like a 212, 213 average. And then I got a good couple weeks and it went up to like 215, 216. And then lately I've been on like a bit of a slump. So I'm down to like 203, 204. I don't know. I am not quite sure what I'm doing wrong, but just inconsistent for the most part. Like sometimes the physical game feels good, but then I don't know, I just end up not hitting my mark. or when I do hit my mark, it just ends up being weird. Which I'm like probably not transitioning fast enough. I'm not adjusting how the lane is changing. I don't know. I spent the last like 3 months trying to fix my release, but now that I fixed my release, I feel that my aim has gone worse. I don't exactly know why that is. Probably gonna look at that today. Try and figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta be fucking up something. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I am nowhere close to going pro. Like, not even remotely. Bowling vlog? So I've considered it. I don't exactly know how many people would be interested in it, but it is something that has crossed my mind. Or like streaming a league night or something. I like, get a travel setup or whatever, and I just bring along for tournaments and league and stuff. Definitely something I thought about. But at the end of the day, I'm just kind of just a league bowler. I'm not like for people who don't bowl 200, 210 sounds really good, like average wise, and it is. I'm not gonna deny that it's good. Like, I know that it's a good average in the grand scheme of things. But at the same time, it's like not that great. Like professionals, if they bowl on the stuff that I bowl on, like oil wise, lane wise, like they would be averaging like 240, 250, 260. Like that's actual professional level. Like, in terms of collegiate level, I would be kind of middle of the pack, probably. Knowing what I know from, like, the universities around my area. Because I did look into, like, joining collegiate. And I did bowl a little bit of collegiate, not much. Because COVID and all that. But yeah, I don't know. It was okay. But it's crazy. Like, I am a mid-tier collegiate player, and so it's like, do I really need to be doing that? Does anyone really care? I mean, I assume some people would be like, "Oh, look, content, like fun." But for me personally, it's like, is that really something I need to be sharing? My rat ass bowling, you know? But I think doing a couple or something just to see how it is, I think that would be fun. Would be something interesting, something new. So I'm definitely not opposed to it. At the same time, though, it would be like quite a bit of effort. I could blow up as a bowling YouTuber. Yeah, probably not. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, aside from like the big bowling YouTubers, I don't actually think that my YouTube content is doing all that much worse. Like, my World of Warcraft content is probably doing like maybe a little bit worse than the average Bowling YouTuber? Let me look at this guy. Yeah. So he gets like 3, 4, 5K views. 7, 2, 1,000. I mean, he also drops what, 5 videos a week, which is crazy. But bowling, like WoW, is not really a space where content creation is all that great right now. Like, in terms of sports, it's just not all that popular. And even like the pros struggle on their accounts. You know, they'll do like vlogs of they'll do vlogs of like professional tournaments where they're like, oh, like, can we make the cut for television? You know, like TV shows, which is crazy to me. But like, even there, like those vlog videos get like 25,000 views, 30,000 views. Like those vlog videos where they're going literally on TV. They're like doing the qualifiers to go on TV. Like, yeah, like this one's, the big guy does 100K, 75K, 60K, 50K, 50K, 70K, which is really good. Like, don't get me wrong, like 100K, 150K on a video is really good. But he's also like a titled player that has won titles and like bowled on TV and like wild shit. And like my best video is the M Plus guide from the start of the season, and that has 40,000 views. So like, would it be an improvement? Like, yeah, I guess, but I'd also have to like, you know, be a lot better than what I am now. And that doesn't seem realistic to me, I'm gonna be honest, unless I start like uber practicing. Like, I'm pretty sure I could improve. My average has gone up like 15 points in the last year or so. As I've gotten back to it. So like, there's definitely improvement there. Is there enough to be that good? Eh. Yeah, we're just on about YouTube creation and bowling vlogs and nonsense. Basically just yapping. 250 cost. How much do I have? 500? Good enough. Because this boss has to be cheesed, sadly. Because leading up to the boss, all of this trash has damage caps. I'm only hitting this fish for fucking 50. That's reboot. Who would ever play interactive? Yeah, but this is why we cheese, because then we just go boop, and then we go a boop, and it's done. All right, next one, boop. Next one, boop. Incredible. Incredible. We get a Okay, thanks. And then can you boop this side? Boop. No boop. Do it myself. Whatever. And now we gotta wait. Unlucky. Unlucky. The other thing about bowling YouTubers, by the way, that I just like remembered, is that the other way that you can become a bowling YouTuber if you're not like professional is you do like constant ball reviews. Like you get a bunch of balls and you review them as they come in, like the new ones. Problem with that is first you need to be signed to the actual companies that then like send you the balls before release, like press kit balls. Then you have to actually just like kind of be good enough. And then on top of that, you also need to like know a bunch of technical things, which I don't know. Like I know some technical things, but I'm not like a pro shop operator. You know what I mean? Like I'm not drilling my own balls. So it's a little weird for me to be like if I were to go on and like do ball reviews, it'd be like, okay, well, here's the new ball. I'm not professional. I'm not a big tech guy. Not a big like technical dude. So it's strange. Congrats on clear, thank you. I forgot that I need to claim this. What is in the box? Oh, nothing? 10 arcane symbols. Yuck. In this economy? Whatever. Well, this timed out. Unlucky. I don't even know who that's going on. My marksman, maybe? Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Bowling YouTube was low pop enough for anyone with the slightest bit of personality and knowledge to be able to find a place. Yeah, that's what you would think. But no. Because people realize that bowling was like a bit of a COVID sport. Because, you know, it's indoors, you can separate. So in that regard, bowling did very well during COVID. And because everyone was inside, bowling YouTube, much like, you know, chess or something, actually exploded a little bit. And it crashed. All right. So, like, it kind of popped off a little. But yeah, there's plenty of bowling YouTubers. Like, I'd say there's probably more bowling YouTubers that I know of than World of Warcraft YouTubers. Like, there's surely more World of Warcraft YouTubers, but I think in general they're smaller. You know, there's an endless supply of World of Warcraft YouTubers that get like 100 views. You know what I mean? Like I think there's an endless supply of those. Whereas bowling YouTubers, I think there's less of those. But like YouTubers my size in the bowling space, there's a lot more of those. if that makes sense. Like sort of the like mid-range YouTubers. I think there's plenty of mid-range bowling YouTubers. Oh, I didn't. Okay, whatever. Oh my god. Misclick. Yeah, like that's the kind of thing. Like, I think in the World of Warcraft scene, there's so many YouTubers that will do that kind of thing. Like, even though they don't get any views at all, they will just pump out a fuck ton of videos, and they'll do like their own guide. They're like, I'm a 3.2k IO player, you know, like they do like 13s, and they're like, here's my guide, and you're like, okay, cool, whatever. And then they'll post like 17 videos of them running keys. Like, there is an endless supply of people like that. For better and for worse. Need to learn how to read logs. Should we do that now? I mean, hell, I'm not even playing World of Warcraft. Should we do a log guide on stream? That's content. Right. Oh, I have a shit ton of mules. I have 14 mules, so that's not getting away from me. All right, let's look at the log. Now, logs can go really deep. So I'm going to need you to ask questions. Because if you don't ask questions... this? I don't know what you know and don't know. However... we'll start off easy. The easiest thing you could ever do is look at a single target log from a raid. That is the absolute easiest thing you could do. So I'm going to look at, like, Mythic Sikran, right? Mythic Sikran, single target, nothing going on. It doesn't matter, whatever. I'm just going to... Cuddle is a friend. Plays with Honolulu, good player. So, here we go. If you first come to this screen, right? Obviously, you click the rogue pops up. Then you have a bunch of options, and they're separated into like 3 or 4, I guess, rows, right? I'd say 99% of the time you're going to be in Analyze. This top one is like really high level, so like compare, you can, you know, go and compare like, okay, well, let's look up a rogue that's within 10 seconds of the fight, similar size, similar item level in the last 28 days. And you can then compare the two. For the most part, that's kind of okay. You can do stuff like this where you can compare the two. I'll go over that later, I guess, but I don't really use this much. Then you have this thing, which like links you to Wipe Fest, and it's kind of strange. mostly a raid leader kind of thing. Obviously, you have the ranking tab, where it just shows you all the rankings. Right, their speed ranking is 155 out of 4,000 because it was a really, really fast kill. And they have replay. Replay is really helpful in M+. This is kind of how I would prefer to do M+ things. Now here it's bugged for some reason. But if I just pull up a dungeon log, reading M+ logs is really, really, really difficult. Because there's so much shit going on. So having a replay function here, where, like, you know, you can see the group run through and what they're pulling and when they're pulling it. Really good. Like, this is big. And you can see what the rogue is targeting and all that kind of stuff, right? So, like, for example, in this pull, if I were to go, like, you know, 0.5x or whatever, if he were to, say, be hitting, like, one of these small guys with a death mark, I would be able to tell that, but he doesn't. He hits, you know, he hits the big guy here with death mark. So, good stuff, right? Like, replay, good feature. But, like, back to the analysis thing. The first thing, like, I go left to right, sort of, when I analyze logs, like when I do a bunch of log reviews. I actually start with just a table. Table is always kind of the first thing. Table just being, like, you know, the overview. Timeline actually gives you this whole timeline from, like, start to end. I only use this for casts, mind you. Sometimes for buffs, but this is really hard to read. Usually tables like this is much easier to read, so you just use this. And then we'll go into timelines when we do casts. But generally for tables, right, I go left to right, summary, and then go from there. Summary, you just can see your talents, you can see the gear, you can see enchants, all that kind of stuff. You can see deaths at a glance. So, like, if you look at a log, you can check if someone died real quick by, you know, going through, showing the bottom. When I'm self-analyzing in raids, like on prog, I also like to check my damage taken a lot of the time. Like, in this case, like Cosmic Simulacrum, like, this is just damage to all players. Okay, can't do anything about that. This is damage to all players. Okay, can't do anything about that. Right? Like, but if there's something here where it's like, oh shit, like, I could have avoided that, you know, that's something that I like to check. Otherwise, on this screen, not much to do. It's just overview stuff, right? So then when we get into the nitty-gritty, we have damage done. Now, with damage done, the main things that I like to look out for is I like to look out where these spikes are happening. Like, these spikes are cooldowns, right? This is damage over time. So these big spikes, those are death marks. You can also kind of see it because death mark here is pink. And so you know that the pink area is the death mark damage, so, like, that kind of also gives it away. But regardless of the color, you know that the spikes are the death marks. So sometimes I'll, like, open a log, and it'll be like, oh, like, I don't know why I'm not doing damage. And I'll see a big spike on the opener, and then it just, like, kind of flattens out. Right? And I never see the spike come back. That's kind of one of the big issues. But, yeah. I think I struggled with damage because I either played too fast. Yeah, that's normal. I mean, hell, I'll pull up my own logs. What's a shit log? I think I died on these. I mean, this is an 85 that I did today. We'll do that one. Whatever. But, here. Again, spikes, right? We see the spikes. But if you just look, if you go to resources and then energy, like I am running out of energy all the time. And this is true for every assassination rogue, because that's just how the spec works. There are times when I should be dropping the buff. You just be spamming energy. There's no reason to hold energy. How would I, like... so we go buffs for that, right? So, like, you'll see my Envenom uptime here. This is obviously by stacks. Like, there's a couple times where I drop the buff entirely. But most of the time I have at least one stack. Sometimes I have two. A lot of the times I have two. If I have low energy, I'm going into KB or DM. Should I drop it to pool? No. I mean, you can try to keep two as much as possible, but you're going to run out of energy. That's just how it works. You can't keep up two stacks. Now, what you do have is you have T. T is up for every Shiv. And for every Kingsbane. Like, start of the Kingsbane, T. Out here I didn't have it, but... Start of the Deathmark, T. So there is legitimately zero reason to ever pool. Okay, well, if you played Assassination in a Mirdrasil actually had pooling in a way that we don't now. Like, we legitimately do not have pooling to any extent that we had since Mirdrasil. Mirdrasil pooling correctly was like 1% of your damage, which isn't a lot, but it was something. Pooling in War Within right now is like 0.2%. Like, it is completely dead. I mean, it was even before that. The whole issue with pooling in Amir Drasil was... Like, actually, I think we might be able to pull it up. It should hold it should hold the values, right? Might be easier to see it side by side. Where the money. Ah, what's the old one? Okay, well, either way. It's pretty similar. So, like, in Amir Drasil, we didn't play dashing. That's the first thing, right? Dashing wasn't a thing. Twist the Knife sucked. But then on top of that, Kingsbane was not capped at 50. It was capped at 100. So Smolderon might be a bad example. We can do like Bull Cross. But you'll see just in the damage breakdown how different this is. It looks fairly similar, but you'll see some distinct differences, right? Like, you'll see Deathmark's doing way more. Kingsbane's doing way more. right? Rupture and Garrote are doing way more. And so, like, you know, in Aberrus, we had Sepsis, completely different spec. In Amir Drasil, we were focused very heavily on Kingsbanes and Deathmarks, and we would get PI and stuff to try and pump the Kingsbane as high as it goes. And that's just not a thing anymore. Like, it's just not worth it anymore. Like, if you look at... Yeah, well, this isn't it. Thanks for the Prime, by the way. Much appreciated. There's a buff that you can track for Kingsbane. Yeah, this one. So if you go to, like, Tables Buffs, this is the actual cast of Kingsbane. And then this big number, that's the stacks. And so, like, we know that Kingsbane stacks at 50, right? So this is the non-Deathmark Kingsbane, and I get to 45. Which is basically cap, right? And then this one, the Deathmark, right? We get to 50 pretty quick. Like, it takes us, what? 15.6? Takes us 8 seconds to get to 50. During the Deathmark. During Lust, it takes us, like, no time at all. It takes us 3 seconds. It takes us 3 seconds to get to max during Lust. During the Deathmarks, it takes a little bit longer. But, like, even during the non... Like, this isn't Deathmark, right? And I hit 50. Like, I cap out my Kingsbane on non-Deathmarks. This would have never happened during Amir Drasil. It just straight up... Like, it wasn't possible to hit 100. Like, you would have to be in Lust with PI in order to get close. And even then, it was a little bit rough. But, like, I'm not getting PI. So, Kingsbane, just nothing to play around, really. Like, you can stack it a little bit faster, I guess. If you had, like, 2 stacks, but it's not important, because even with 1 stack, you're still getting a shit ton. Like, 1 stack of Envenom, I mean, right? Like, even 1 stack of Envenom, you're still getting a shit ton of poison procs, and you're still capping it out. So it's just not sky-high damage anymore. Any advice for Court or Queen? For Court, you have to be kind of mindful of how you're moving around your Deathstalker mark. Kind of also depends what side you're on, and if your guild is holding or not. Court is a very weird fight timing-wise. For Queen, it's pretty straightforward, though. You're on red. Even better. Even better. I'm also on red. So, I don't know if this is a good pull, but I'll tell you right now that I cool down on pull now because we don't hold intermission. We used to hold damage in the first intermission. If you hold damage in the first intermission, you can't cool down on pull because then your cooldowns come up and then you have to hold them, and then it's really bad. So if you're holding damage in the intermission, it's better to hold for the charges, but I'm cooldowning on pull here because we don't hold. But in general, right, this is pretty standard. Opener, whatever, I do a web. Blah, 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 blah. Rotate. Nice speed. 2x. Yeah. So here's the charge, right? So he's going to charge. I have my mandate for this, but I have to go do the web. So GG, do the web. Bang. Here it's just like nothing's going on, but my mandate's a little late. That's fine. I still get the mandate off. Rotate, obviously, blah, 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 blah. And so here you'll see the Kingsbane come up. Kingsbane also fine, right? You just Kingsbane the same guy, add spawn. You get some caustic damage, GG, whatever. Do the second web. Rotate. Then here's the second charge, right? This is where you have to start paying attention for your mark going into the intermission. So in this case, he had 2 when he got to me. But I know that I'm able to get off all 3 of these marks. Because there's a pretty long period of time between the charge and when the boss comes. So I worked down all of my marks here. Now I have Darkest Night. And now I just hold it. I just sit here and hold it. And then this boss shows up, and I apply my mark. Right? So that's how I transfer it after the second charge. Then we do whatever. Cooldown time. Press my death mark, all my stuff. GG. Blah, 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 blah. Now the mark stays on this guy. And now what I like to do here, which I sometimes forget, is apply dots to the big guy now for energy, right? That is a gain, but sometimes I forget it. And then from here, it's literally just the same thing as P1. Left, right, pick up orbs. And now Kingsbane will come up for the first Dispel, as well as Mandate. So, Mandate, Kingsbane, whatever. Now, the end here, I would go put leads on Anubarosh, the fat guy, as I do here. Okay. Yeah, if it's not on top, don't bother. So, same thing here for the second Dispels. The second Dispels, though, with the mark, you have to be careful because the boss teleports quickly. Like, this one is my Death Mark. Death Mark's coming back up. And I have to send this early. I suck. I suck at sending this early, but I have to send this early. Like, I have to be pressing it now. And I don't, because I'm bad. Also, we missed the Dispels. But, you know. Oh, and then dailies. Pog. Pog dailies. Pog. Trying to see if we can get a P3 pull here. Yeah, okay, so this is the second Dispel, right? So this is the Death Mark that we just had. But as long as you're stacked on top of the group, it's kind of fine. So here I have my Darkest Night. Move it over. Same thing, just do the dance. Run around. Now, Tank's dead here, people are dying. But then you go. Now, coming out of P3, if you're red side, you do have to move it again. Which I have failed so many times. That's Queen. Okay, so the kill here. Yeah. I died on the kill, but it should at least, you know... It should at least look... I can explain it at least, you know what I mean? This is the second Dispel, right? We're going into... intermission here. So we do the dance, and then because we're red side, at the end here, he has a stun. Now, during the stun, you can use it as a timer for holding your mark. So here, I should have held. I should have held my Darkest Night. But in my infinite wisdom, I rip it in Venom, right? So that's a problem. But I should have held it because now we're on the boss over here. And this is where you get another Kingsbane off. Now, if you were to hold for the charges, you would get a death mark here. It would be offset by about a minute. But, you know, I would have the mark on this, and it would be a Kingsbane, which I kind of fuck up. But I just send it on the tall guy. And I die because we got terrorized. Now, on this first charge here, right, it's burrow into a charge. On this charge would be my mandate. But we ignore this completely. This is a complete ignore. So we're just back on the boss over here, and you see red group on the far side of the skinny dude. So we're just hard on this guy again. And then comes dispels, right? So we run out, whatever, spikes, and then comes dispels. And this dispel would be the last death mark. And then the boss dies. So like here's the dispel, blah 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 blah. So I would be stacked with red here. That's death mark, and then the boss dies, because the boss is already at like 8% or whatever. So like in P3, you ignore the first charge. Like this whole charge that happens in the start of P3, this is just mandate for me. Like I mandate from over here where the rest of my group is before we walk over the tall guy. Because you can mandate while walking. But everyone ignores this. We just go onto the tall guy. Even blue group ignores this kind of. I mean, they hit him a little bit, but they walk over to the tall guy as well. And then you just hold death mark, and you know, eventually the guy comes in the middle, and it should die on this death mark when the dispels are in the middle. That is when the boss should be dying. Technically, you could probably keep it going because the berserk is a minute out, but realistically, you shouldn't be hitting the berserk. Alright, and then boss dies. For Queen, it's kind of similar. I actually have MRT, like method raid tools. I have notes for it. But yeah, on Ansarek, you don't do anything in P2, so it's just you're playing for boss damage the entire time. We don't need the damage for the shield either, so I transmitter early here so that I don't land the transmitter in the pools. Vanish the first set. I get a freedom on the second set. So that's not really an issue. Dodge, 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 whatever. Faint this set because it kind of hurts. This is the freedom set. I try to fan of knives just to get a little bit of extra damage to help the people that are getting cleaved. Kingsbane just on cooldown. The death mark is also going to be on cooldown. The timing is a little bit weird on it though because of the last set of pops. This third set I cloak. Dodging. This is the big damage overlap, so this one hurts like hell. Bang. Whatever, cloak. GG. And then Deathmark comes up after this. So GG, Deathmark. Bait the webs. Pop. And then we go to shield. Now on the shield here, you can pop one shiv. You can pop a single shiv if you want to. But here it's just evasion feint. I don't know if I pop a shiv on this, but you could. The main thing to watch out for is the health. So like I'm at 2 stacks of the mark, right? So I know that I'm not gonna get another mark off. So bang, I keep my Darkest Night here. GG. And then this mark just goes through all of P2. I die because I'm bad. Epo left. I would Kingsbane the melee target here with 2 stacks of Shiv. So the Guardian or whatever. I get rezzed here as well. On this one right here. And then I have a portal, so I go do the portal, whatever. It despawned, so I go do this portal. No cooldowns or anything, P2 just kind of explodes. Nothing to be done here, damage sucks. And then this is where your actual damage happens. Any time before this was just fake damage. Not real damage. P3, now you're doing damage. So I lost my mark because I died, right? But you would have your mark here. So you cool down right at the start. On the spiders, you get a bit of cleave. I'm holding my clear the witnesses for that, but that's pretty min-max. Now on these, you can actually rupture the far acolyte. The one in melee probably dies too quick. So you see me running over there and just hitting it with a rupture. And then here comes the first portal. I step the Warlock. I have a macro for that. And then it's rinse repeat. The Kingsbane there is also a little bit cringe. You just kind of have to send it. Nothing to be done. Like storm's closing in, whatever. You gotta just send the Kingsbane. It'll be a little weak, but better than not sending it. Your group probably won't be this low on the boss damage. Like, we're at 10% here before the ads spawn. So I actually barely get off a second death mark here. Now, you probably will get a second death mark, but this would be, death mark 2. And then boss dies. You probably have to do the second ring here. We don't, because we just DPS. But, yeah. If it's a little bit slower, you get off the second death mark, you have no problems. Oh, you don't second ring. Yeah, okay. So, GG. And so, you'll see that, like, on the overall meter, whatever, I'm at 1.7. But this was this one? That was this kill. And so, like, yeah, I did like a 60 parse overall. But then you go to boss damage. And like this is why I'm here. Right? Like, I'm not doing any damage to the ads because the ads just explode and it's pointless. But boss damage, I'm parsing a 95. So, GG. Right? That's just because I got second death mark off in P3. But yeah, I know that some people like send Deathmark on P2 ads. I feel like that's an absolute waste. Some people play Crimson Tempest. That is also an absolute waste. That's just padding. If you look at the top logs, it'll just be all Crimson Tempest, basically. well, outlaw, but you look at the assassination logs, 72% of the top parses play Crimson Tempest, which is super degenerate. But like you see that they're getting a Autumn and a Blessum of PI, like oh my god. And all of this is just add damage. Like this is all just add damage. This boss damage isn't even that high. 1.35 and I did 1.32 and he's getting PIs and a blessing. It's just like it's just pad. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you're getting a similar kill speed, you should probably just do the same thing, double death mark, and then call it a day. Like double death mark P3, double death mark P1. And then just like toss out shivs and a Kingsbane, like a shiv on the intermission shield. Kingsbane somewhere in the intermission so that it comes back up. GG. Only boss I've given up on is Avenax, who's pure pad. Yeah, I mean that's why everything like that's why when I look at my character these days, I purely look at the boss damage parse. Like that is purely what I'm looking at. Like this is fun to look at, but like Olgrax is kind of weird. I mean, they remove the intermission. Bloodbound is just how much can you pad. Sikran is just kill time. Rashanan is pad. Avenax is pad. Silken Court is kind of pad, but also I died on literally every single pull so far. Every single kill pull I've died. So, rough. And then Ansarek is also just pad. But if you go to damage by bosses, like this is where the real money's at. You know what I mean? Like this is where the actual parses live. Boss damage parses are kind of assassination bread and butter. Because it's so hard to parse on anything that isn't padding. Hopefully I can fix Silken Court finally next week. Silken Court's just embarrassing. I've died on every single one. Like on the kill pull in December, I ran into a tank and died because I just fucked up. Then on this one, I got assassinated. On this one, I think I actually lived on this one, but we were doing some really cringe, like, stop DPS type of shit. And I think I also messed up a deathmark window. So, like, this is kind of bad, but also we were just holding DPS, which is a little cringe. And then this one, we weren't holding DPS, but I also got assassinated. So, rough. If I can get this to, like, an 80, I'd be happy. Like, ideally, I want this to be top 100 by the end of the tier. If it's close to top 100, it's good enough. But my guild's had a bad time this tier, and, you know, whatever. We will see. We will see. Surely next tier, right? Surely next tier. First full prog tier? Yeah, I mean, you're ramping. You'll get there. I believe. If this is your first full tier, then you're doing more than fine. But yeah, I don't know. Parsing this tier is rough. Super, super rough. It's just about knowing your mistakes, though, and then improving on them. Kind of just a knowledge check. Right? If you know what the mistake is that you're making, then you can fix it. But if you don't know that you're doing something wrong in the first place, then it's rough. Guilds imploded around Christmas? Yeah, Silken Court killed quite a few guilds this tier, I feel. I mean, Silken Court almost killed my guild. We had so many pulls on Silken Court, it was not even funny. Which, by the way, it's funny, because we were World 800, and in a mirror so we were World 400. World 300 in Aberrus. Like, we've slid so far. Rough. But this is why. This is why we slid so far. 300 pulls on fucking Silken Court is ridiculous. Radar IO rank is different to Warcraft logs. Yeah, they're a little bit different. I think Warcraft logs in general is a little bit more accurate, but I don't have anything to prove that. But yeah, 300 pulls on Silken Court is crazy. 300 pulls on Silken Court is insane. We fucking sucked this tier. We sucked so bad. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna head out, I think. Relax a little bit before bowling. Have a good one. I'll be back, what, Tuesday for Reclear? Yeah. Reclear on Tuesday, same time, 6 p.m. PST. Have a good one. Bye-bye.